I just found the toughest guy on TikTok, the CEO of the Salty Spittoon. He told an inspirational story that I happened to stumble across, and I'm not going to lie to you, sports fans, it's something I really needed to hear.
That point on, my dad knew he couldn't take on. Now I was 13. He picked up a stick, a wooden stick, and he went to hit me over the head. And I did this, and it broke. And then I took it out of his hand, threw it on the floor, kicked him in the leg, picked him up, and threw him on the coffee table. Coffee table broke in half.
Yeah, that definitely happened. And everybody clapped. This kid Rex Kwon his father through a coffee table like it was Mankind McFoley through a WWE table. Now, I read his comments, and there were naysayers in there thinking that he was just spouting off a load of baloney. Bunch of bullshit. Well, poo-poo on you for thinking that he would be lying about a situation like this. You don't know who you're speaking to. This isn't some ordinary mortal, some weak coward. This is a superhuman. And here he is graciously taking time out of his busy day sucking piss from his own balls in order to tell us the origin story of his powers. Kind of like when Mark from Invincible awakened his powers, so too did he. And he is going to use this as a way of not just flexing on us, but trying to lift us up.
That's the beauty, that we are actually superhuman. We just don't unlock these genes because we don't put our body and our mind through the pressure. There is something called microfractions. Little microfractions that you cause with hitting the bone thickens the bone.
See, it's that simple. Microfractions. Well, you didn't learn about that in algebra? I'll drop the sarcasm for a moment. Fucking Goober here is confusing microfractures for microfractions. Also, I'm convinced he's not actually speaking to anyone on this podcast. I think he just set up this podcast look to make it seem like he's got more authority than he actually does on something. But that's just a little game theory. That's a little tinfoil hat conspiracy there. But anyway, I just love that he comes in here preaching, we're all superhumans. Have you ever heard of microfractures? Like that's the eureka moment, like that's the chemical X. It turns out this is the secret that, you know, Big Brother doesn't want you to know. We're actually all X-Men, thanks to microfractions. I feel like it's almost insulting to your intelligence if I explain microfractures here, because I imagine most of you know what that is, but I'll go ahead and dive into it quickly, just in case he happens to have stumbled across this video in between beating 5,000 samurais' asses for the day or something, or whatever cool badass thing he was doing. What he's trying to talk about is microfractures, which you've probably heard of in relation to like Muay Thai. And it's like repeated impact to the bone causes slight little fractures to it, so when it repairs itself, it grows back a bit denser, a bit stronger. Now, obviously, it's not going to turn you into a goddamn superhuman. You could go outside and kick oak trees till the cows come home, kicking infinite oak trees, but you will never be able to have dense enough bones to be like bulletproof or anything like that. Like, it's not going to turn you into a superhuman, and I don't know why he's talking about it like it somehow does.
I used to sit there and hit my shins with a hammer all fucking day. Do you know why people wear boxing gloves? So they don't fuck up their hands by hitting somebody's head. Your head is the strongest bone in the body. And if you train it and bang it enough for a whole year, it becomes 4 times thicker.
He's just straight up wrong. The head is not the strongest bone in the human body. That title usually goes to the femur. But he does say something I do believe him on about banging his head. That, I think he's probably telling the truth on. Like, yeah, maybe he was hitting his knees or his shins with a hammer, and he probably started hitting his head with the fucking hammer too from the sound of things here, because he is way off his rocker here. He is off his gourd.
We hurt people, and I learned that at a young age. That's what I learned from the Shaolin monks. Go watch them when they spar, when they battle, or when they have a fight. Boom, they turn their head. Wherever you're hitting, they just turn their head. You punch their head, you're breaking your hand.
No, they don't. He doesn't say a single thing in here that's accurate at all, not even by accident. So I know exactly what happened here, though. He saw one video, the old viral video of that Shaolin monk who was taunting his opponent in a fight, where he put his head down and was just taking every blow right on the chin. Like, he was just eating every fucking blow like it was cereal. So that's the video he saw, and he thought that must have been true for all Shaolin monks, I think. That's the only explanation I can think of. Like, and I'm giving him a lot of charitability here with my interpretation of this statement, because I think also equally likely is he's just straight up lying, just actually talking out of his fucking butthole. but I think there's a chance he saw that video of the Shaolin monk in the boxing ring where he was getting hit in the head a lot because he was literally taunting the guy, and he's like, oh, that's how Shaolin monks fight. Must be those microfractions I've heard so much about. They must train with that. So now he's spouting it off here on the podcast. But I don't know why he thinks that. He could have just looked it up for like 2 seconds. Like, Shaolin monks don't just fight with their head for blocking. Like, they're not giraffes. Like, they don't just fight with their head. Like, what? It's outrageous that he would think that. Also, I can't help but have, like, an immense appreciation for the lesson he's trying to teach here to, like, the absolute idiots in his audience. That you should hit your head a lot over the course of a year to make your skull thicker. He's actually trying to preach the gospel that in order to be a superhuman, you need to be like banging your head against the wall like it's a horror movie, like the end of Hereditary or something. That is incredible as a lesson that he's trying to get out there. Because that's actually the takeaway. He is literally talking like, if you want to unlock the superhuman X-Men gene, you're going to have to start hitting your shins with a hammer and damaging your skull so that way it'll get thicker and stronger and more dense. You ever heard of Shaolin monks and microfractions? That's an incredible lesson for him to try and teach on TikTok. That's amazing.
Come in to kill you. When I punch somebody, I don't punch their head. I'm imagining my fist going through their head, through the back of their head. Their head gets stuck here on my elbow. That's how Bruce Lee used to. And who was like that? Mike Tyson. He comes in and when he punches, why do you see everybody's head flying? Because he tried to put his fist through the guy's head. That's why every single punch you see people fly. Look today, all the knockouts that are in the UFC. Somebody kicks him, he does a slap kick. Chin, boom, boom, boom. Guy goes down this way. Mike Tyson, Bruce Lee, it's a different punch.
Hey, can't argue with that. When this man throws a punch, he's turning your skull into body armor for himself, locking it in like an elbow pad. That is, of course, assuming you haven't trained your skull with sledgehammers for the better part of a decade, because then even he would be powerless against a skull that thick. You'd be looking like Sheen out of that episode of Jimmy Neutron when he gets really smart and has that huge brain. But yeah, I just think it's really fun listening to this guy talk about how badass he is. It's so cool. I punch through their skull and then their head's locked on my elbow. I end up looking like I'm out of Mad Max. I adorn my body with decorations of viscera and body parts. It's so fucking good.
Belgian horses are the biggest and the strongest horses in the world. Each one could pull 12,000 pounds. If the two of them are put together, how much weight could they pull?
Together, they're pulling 24,000 right there.
By math, if you do it right, they're pulling 24,000. When you put two alpha males, Belgian horses, together, they could pull 36,000 pounds.
Math can never calculate the potential of an alpha. Also, the AI art he uses for all of his videos is fucking mind-boggling. Yikes. Horrifying. But you're gonna find this hard to believe. He's wrong again. So, this is actually something a lot of other influencer alpha males mention about the Belgian horses as an example of how strong brotherhood can be. They're able to punch way above their weight class, beyond what you would expect given, the numbers here. And it all stems from something called entree leadership from someone named Dave Ramsey, who gave this Belgian horse example when it comes to synergy. So, Belgian horses can pull up to 8,000 pounds individually, not 12,000 like Goofball mentions. And Dave Ramsey saying when you put two together, they are able to actually pull under like optimal conditions, trained together. They can get up to like 30 or even 32,000 pounds that they can pull together through synergy. Well, our guy didn't quite understand that. He couldn't get the numbers correct, and he was trying to spout out an idea that's not his to begin with. I don't think he read Dave Ramsey's book. I'm starting to wonder if he's literate in the first place. Instead, I'm sure he saw some of the other influencer alpha males that have butchered that book excerpt, and he just tried to call upon that and got it wrong.
It's because one pushes the other. If you guys work together as a team, like two Belgian horses, you'll be able to pull a lot more than you're pulling on your own.
Yeah, I like that.
It's amazing that when you see brothers really work as a team and understand that nothing can break you, which means if I separated you and I took you in a room, no matter how hard I would beat you, you don't give up your brother.
Yeah.
You don't break. Don't ever let a woman separate between you guys. Every single ex-girlfriend of my brother separated us, didn't want me around. When I was around, he was being more of himself. Brotherhood is the most important thing.
Every single one of your brother's ex-girlfriends didn't want you around? And you think that's a problem with them, not you? Like these women that knew nothing about you at all, like they didn't have it out for you. All of them, for some reason, just didn't want you around, and you don't think that's because you're a fucking weirdo? Or maybe I'm just talking crazy. That's clearly not the lesson to be learned from that experience there. Obviously not. It all ties back to Belgian horses, actually. Anyway, though, I really enjoyed going down a little bit of a rabbit hole on some tough guy TikTok content, so I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya.